also want to say we recently had Jasmine Crockett on. It was on my solo pod, and Jasmine is on the show talking about having to go get fit for a bulletproof vest. So this is not the time for this.
Yeah.
And it is very dangerous for this. So I hear you even on the danger, even on campuses, but I wanted to bring this in because this is the kind of messaging they're hearing on their sports platforms, on talk radio, all the time. There is a growing divide between black men and black women.
Oh my God.
And I think that some of them are also leaning more conservative in their...
Ciao, bye. Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday, and it's Dana with the Data Wins. Oh my God. I knew I was going to forget something. I didn't put it in my community section, the show. I did not put it up on my website, the show. Like, what is going on? You know what? I'm just going to have to do it when I'm done. Honey, I went and got my hair done today, so tune in. Stephen A. Smith. Migrant crises. Migrant crisis. All right. Let me just put it up there. Hi, Volvo, Lazander. Hi, everybody. So before I get into the show, honey, because y'all saw the clip. I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith versus Jasmine Crockett. Basically, Stephen A. Smith versus everybody. And I'm on Stephen A. Smith's side because he just really spoke the truth, what a lot of people have been saying for a very long time when it comes to Jasmine Crockett. She's ghetto, period. Point blank, period. She's just ghetto. But anyway, before I get into the show, guys, can you please can you please share? Thank you. I put the link to my Gibson Go fundraiser. Yes, and I have not been promoting it like I should. So if you have not donated, it would be kindly so if you can donate to the fundraiser because it helps me expand my platform and to create different projects that I have in mind that's going to get created anyway. So please donate to my fundraiser. The link is in the chat and in the description, and it will be in the comment section. And please share this video. And most importantly, like, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Shout out to everybody watching on X. Please like and repost and bookmark this. Yes. So, okay, let's get into it. Stephen A. Smith versus everybody. And I have my notes. First of all, let me say RIP to D'Angelo. Oh, and I would love to play his music, but copyright strike or whatever. But I think I'm gonna hold the X space this week. All a tribute to D'Angelo, right? I think that'll be cool. So RIP to D'Angelo. 51. That's my generation. I'm 49. Just turned 49. Pancreatic cancer, right? So, but you know what? He left us a lifetime. A legacy of his music, soul, funk, all that. Very talented. So rest in power, D'Angelo. All right, let's get into it. Stephen A. Smith. So me and the judge spoke about this on Monday, and I just played a quick clip reacting to the Native Pod, getting at Stephen A. Smith, calling him weak, saying he don't like black women, saying he has little dick energy, all because he chose to critique Jasmine Crockett, and he has every right to do so. And I'm glad he did. So I just want to play the initial clip of what he actually said. Let's see. And we're going to do it like this. So this is Stephen A. Smith taking a first shot at Jasmine Crockett.
How Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying, that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent, the people of West Virginia.
Right.
She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that damn complicated. We make it complicated. Damn, it's frustrating.
So it's very frustrating because I'm not going to play, the other things he said, because he called her intelligent, educated Black woman. He did not call her out her name, but he did highlight that she does a lot of street talking. And it's true. You're calling the president a piece of shit. He's a racist, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, okay, but what are you getting done, right? So then we have Native Pod, taking a swipe at him. And that was the first clip I played. Let me play this second clip of Native Pod.
He's got to deal with Black woman issues.
Oh my God.
Writ large. And whatever self-hate exists within him.
That is self-hate.
I've never seen a clip of him where he actually praises a Black woman.
That's what I'm saying. He's got Black woman issue he's got to deal with. But
for those who are listening, that was Stephen A. Smith commentating about Jasmine Crockett's lack of work. For context, there was a poll that was recently done, and Jasmine Crockett's approval numbers amongst the American people rival Barack Obama's in 2008. So just for context, he is on an island unto himself. Because people see her largely working on our behalf.
Yeah, and that's not true. I highly doubt that her numbers are polling on the same level as Barack Obama when he first ran for office, even his second term. Now, amongst Democrats, yeah, but amongst American people in general, no. And thank you for this repping, because he says, Lady Crockett was an amazing young lady when she first came on the scene. We're not feeling ghetto Crockett now. And that's exactly how she is portraying herself, as ghetto. And it's unnecessary. So Willie D responded on X. I mean, not X, on Instagram. I thought I put it here on X. Oh yeah, I could share this here then. So Willie D posted this on his Instagram, coming after Stephen A. Smith. And I do have some words for Willie D. He says, Stephen A. Smith taking shots at Jasmine Crockett ain't just messy, it's weak. Dude is sitting on one of the biggest mics in America, and instead of using it to uplift, he's tearing down a Black woman who's out here putting in real work. This ain't critique, that's portrayal. Jasmine Crockett ain't the problem. She's the kind of woman who walks into the room of snakes and makes the snakes flinch. Meanwhile, Stephen's showing us what happens when the paycheck gets louder than the principal. That's sucker shit, straight up. And trust me, 50 years from now, when folks this era, Jasmine Crockett's name going to be in the books next to the fighters, the truth tellers, the ones who shook the system. Stephen A., history don't reward the ones who made noise. It rewards the ones who made a difference. Sir, Jasmine Crockett has not made a difference. We are not going to remember Jasmine Crockett in 50 years, because you know what? Jasmine Crockett is most likely going to get voted out of Congress next year, because Texas did a whole bunch of redistricting in Texas. So the Republicans control Texas House, even in Congress, even on a state level, and they literally drove all types of lines through her district. And she's going to have to battle it out with 2 other Democrats. So we're not going to remember Jasmine Crockett in 50 years. The only thing we're going to remember, she was a loud ghetto woman, Black woman, that stood for illegals, immigrants, transgender women, and LGB, and everything else in the alphabet. Jasmine Crockett has never fought, championed, put any policies forward that has to do with Black women and Black America, period. So she is not going to be remembered. I was going to play Willie D's response. And I don't want to, because Willie D, he's a sucker. And I want to break down a little bit of Willie D. And maybe I will, maybe I will bring it up. His clips. Wait, let me share this again. Oh no, I can't share it on here. Can I make it, if I make it smaller? Yeah, I gotta make it smaller. Oh no. Oh no. What if I make it bigger? No? All right. Stephen A. Smith latest rant on Jasmine Crockett is wild. He called her rhetoric for the streets because she got at Greg Abbott. But when Trump called her a lowlife, he went quiet as a church mouse. How does this type of love Trump? Because he says what he's on his mind, whatever. So let me pull up Tamika Mallory. I meant to open up 2 spaces. Because now Tamika Mallory, actually, I'm going to hold off on Tamika Mallory for a minute. Let's go back and focus on Willie D ass. And maybe I will just pull up his clip real quick. Right? Willie D. Because I want to talk about him for a second. Where is it? Okay, this is it. I'm not playing no damn commercials. So,
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Well, Stephen A. Smith and got called out for shucking and jiving again. This time, Steven Jackson is getting at him about his folding like a...
Yeah, and this is why I can't listen to Willie D. He talks like he's illiterate. You could tell he's not well educated. He's not well read. He's not well informed. Willie D, the Luke Campbells, the Steven Jacksons, the D.L. Hugleys, the Plies, they're on that Democrat plantation, liberal lovers. But let me just tell y'all a little bit about Willie D. Willie D is from the rap group The Ghetto Boys from way back in the day. And the hit that I'm familiar with is My Mom Playing Tricks on Me, which was about drugs, which was their music was basically toxicity. Now, Ghetto Boys, the star of the Ghetto Boys was Scarface, then the midget, then him. Nobody paid him no mind. Scarface was the star. Scarface had better lyrics. But they did promote toxic music. And I get it, because you have a right to practice your freedom of speech. But that is why people like Willie D is okay with toxic behavior, because that's the environment he came from and he never grew out of. That is what he's familiar with, and that is what he accepts. Luke Campbell too, because Luke was on X all last year during the election just talking nonsense, and he just sounds like he got a pile of shit on both sides of his mouth. talking shit and you got shit in your mouth. He's another idiot. He did push toxic music, and his behavior on and off the camera was toxic. Never listen to entertainers. And one thing I can say about Stephen A., who is he's a very articulate Black man. He has hired, championed, and support Black people in his field on and off the camera, right? But what has Willie D done for the community? Jasmine Crockett reminds him of his audience in his heyday. Toxic bullshit. So why do we care? When people sit up here, you want to cancel this Black man for exercising his freedom of press, freedom of speech, the same way you did with your corny ass rap lyrics, Willie D, talking about drugs, talking about shooting, killing, calling women bitches in your songs. And that is why Jasmine Crockett resonates with the streets, because that is where he's from. And that really never leaves a lot of people. The difference is Jasmine Crockett is not from the streets. She is pretending to be ghetto, pretending to be all of the negative stereotypes that Black women have tried to not be associated with. Well, Jasmine Crockett is pulling and she currently is pulling Black women under that umbrella of mammyism because of her behavior. You are a congresswoman. You could be tough. You could be to the point. You could be stern. You could be about your business and still be professional. We all know how you feel about Trump. We know how the Democrats feel about Trump. We know how a lot of Black politicians that are Democrats feel about Trump. Well, what are you going to do about it? Where's the work? Black politicians from the 60s and 70s, that Adam Clayton Powell's, even Shirley Chisholm, Stern, fought for their constituents. But they wasn't cussing and doing all this street shit. You leave street shit in the streets. You don't bring that to work. And if you want to be street-like in the boardroom, that is a different behavior. If you want to bring the streets to Congress, that is a different behavior. Politicians are ruthless. Congress is ruthless no matter what party affiliation. These people are ruthless. They're ruthless in heels, red bottom heels, and suits. She's displaying street ruthlessness with a bonnet on and a robe, talking shit out her project window. That's what she's giving us. So this clown up here identifies with toxicity because that was part of his audience in his damn heyday with the Ghetto Boys. Stephen Jackson, he's taking shots at Stephen A. Smith because Serena Williams' husband came on ESPN and it's like, oh, you don't got no smoke for the white man, but you got smoke for Black women. Sit your Black ass down, Stephen Jackson. Because you the same nigga that got up on all these podcasts since 2020 talking about how you was crying like a bitch because you stood up your fiance at the altar on wedding day. As if that's a flex. So you's a bitch too, Stephen Jackson. Because you was crying like a bitch. So all that, whoever mother was wiping the slob and the tears off your eyes talking about something, you were a real man. No, you ain't no real man, because a real man wouldn't even showed up at the wedding. It wouldn't have been no wedding If the bitch didn't sign the prenup 30 days prior, you should have canceled every fucking thing. But you was hoping that she would sign a prenup up until the day of the wedding, and then you go in the back room crying like a bitch. But you got smoke for Stephen A. Smith? Do y'all realize that the position that this man self-made to get to where he's at, what he had to endure in corporate America, dealing with Disney, one of the highest paid commentators in sports? And I remember Stephen A. Smith said he will learn throughout college and even in his professional life when he was a journalist, he will learn a new word every day so that it can increase his vocabulary when he gives commentary. He practiced his skill so that he could come across as an intelligent, articulate Black man and still entertain the audience. But now you have all these so-called woke ass Black people, celebrities, trying to cancel him because he has a right as a citizen and as a voter to criticize politicians. No politician is ever going to be dealt with kid gloves. Who said Jasmine Crockett is above reproach? Why? Because she's a woman and because she's Black? Checking off my list. Guys, please hit that like button. So now I want to share the clapback that Stephen A. Smith had for all of these so-called haters. Because I'm going to get to Angela Rye, high yellow ass, damn near white, in a second. But this is Stephen A. Smith clapback. And again, I agree with everything this man says. And so you guys could go to his YouTube channel because I'm starting at the 14-minute mark and I'm only going to play like 10 minutes of it. But it's a 41-minute response.
Has paved the way for half the stuff that we see that's going on. Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes. He is.
Donald Trump is a piece of shit. That's what she said. That's the third one. There's another one here where she's talking about how the GOP doesn't care about facts, but the Democrats do. You just heard that. There was also another one where she called them again a white supremacist. But it didn't just stop there. She went to her own governor of the state of Texas, who's in a wheelchair, by the way. Keep that in mind. And listen to what she said about him.
We in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
Governor Hot Wheels. And the only thing that is hot about him is that he's a hot ass mess. And that's going to serve 750,000 constituency in the 30th District of Texas.
Okay.
That is what I was saying. Never mind what she feels. Never mind whatever level of justification you may have towards feeling the way that you feel. When you're in her position, that's not going to get you anywhere. That's what I was saying. What I was saying was this educated, brilliant Black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets.
Thank you.
And that's fine when you're in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you're at the negotiating table trying to get a deal done? How many of you are able to think that for a second that you're able to bring street verbiage to Capitol Hill and that's going to work for you? You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please put her front and center on camera.
Right.
Why would they do that?
Let me pause it right there. I can tell you why. Especially news reportings like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all the liberals, the conservatives, it don't matter. Media wants to see an angry Black woman. And you liberal lovers that's in the chat, that's listening, that's watching, that want to sit up here and defend Jasmine Crockett behavior, you so blind to the fact that they make fun of us. They push that out there, not because, oh, they're doing a damn thing. It's because it makes us look bad. You are playing into every negative stereotype. That is why, and media, it's legacy media, intentionally does that. And they do it. They do that. They will put an angry Black woman on TV quick, fast, in a hurry to appease white people. And you so ignorant to that.
Because they know it wins for them. And what I was saying was, I appreciate her passion, her intellect, the fact that her heart and her willingness to be courageous and all of those things are in the right place. But my God, isn't it about winning too? Ain't it about getting it done? How about positioning yourself, since Jasmine Crockett was on the record stating that we got to keep our eyes on the federal courts because the conservative federal courts are putting forth rules and regulations, policies, and fiduciary and judicial things that serve to benefit one side of our country, but not necessarily all sides.
Right.
Well, wouldn't that mean that you'd want to become a judge? You are a lawyer by trade. You are licensed to practice law in Texas, Arkansas, and the federal courts. Wouldn't you be somebody?
Let me pause it right there. See, one thing about Stephen A., this is what I appreciate about him, and he is a fellow Libra, honey. We are the scale of balance. He looks at both sides, and he may insert his own opinion, but he's also going to insert some facts. His approach from the beginning was very logical. That makes sense. Girl, you have a degree. You specialize in civil rights. You called Joe Biden. You were in love with Joe Biden. You said you wish you had a father like Joe Biden. Well, what about your Black daddy, who's a preacher, who paid for you to go to all these wonderful private schools? But you say you wish you had a father like Joe Biden. I'm going to eventually do a whole video on Jasmine. I'm going to pull that damn clip up so that you Democrat lovers, liberal lovers could see that your Black mammy was out here wishing that a white Joe Biden old ass was her daddy. But then you want to try and cancel this Black man here. Why didn't you and your people say, you know what? Let's put Jasmine Crockett as a federal judge, because that's a lifetime position, as opposed to House Representative, which is only 2 years. And Miss Thing, you're about to get voted out next year in the midterms. So why didn't you push and tell your daddy, Joe Biden, to make you a federal judge? Because that's lifetime. And you really would have been making a difference, especially for the Democrats.
That we'd want on the courts, or at least on committees, having a strong arm towards dictating who ends up on the courts, not just the Supreme Court, but federal courts throughout this country, because that's what senators do, right? Wouldn't you want to position yourself to be able to beat a Ted Cruz or a Senator Cornyn? I'm talking about winning.
Right.
I'm talking about winning. And listen, I voted for Kamala Harris. And I voted for her because I said, even though I wasn't fond of her as a candidate, I certainly thought that she would be more willing to work across the aisle and work with more congressional and Senate representatives than he would.
And see, this is where me and Stephen A. differ. Again, he has a right. Everybody has, if you are a legal citizen, you have a right to vote, right? To vote for whoever. You can even put your name in the box on the line. That is where me and him differ. He voted, and he toasts that a lot. I voted for Kamala. That's not a flex, because I'm glad she's not president, because she does not have the ability, and that is why people will run all over Kamala Harris, because she will be too willing to work with both sides. When at a certain point, you got to put your foot down and say, no, it's going to be this way. It's going to be this way. And then it would have been a Republican Senate and House, so she will have no fucking control. And she wouldn't have the respect. So that's where me and Stephen A. differ.
I certainly felt like we wouldn't be hearing words like authoritarianism.
Oh, honey, we are not playing these damn commercials. Oh, no.
And dictators and stuff like that. I knew that. So I get where you're coming from. But when you talk about we're honest, they're not. Were you honest when you chose Hillary and you shoved aside Bernie Sanders as a party? Were you honest when you chose Biden and you shoved aside everybody else because it was his turn? Were you honest when you bypassed a primary and made sure to ensure that Kamala Harris was the Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States, when all of you knew, you knew that Biden was finished. You knew he had no business staying in the presidency. You knew that you could have influenced things in a way that would have forced him out. We would have had a primary, and the best candidate for the job would have been running against Trump last November. You knew that. But like 2016, like 2020, as was the case in 2024, and unlike the Republicans, the conservatives, the elite chose our candidate. Oh. The people were bypassed on the Democratic side of the aisle.
That is true.
You circumvented your way as a party around the election process, and you have the audacity to talk about how others are a threat to democracy. Where's the consistency? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that the Democratic Party hasn't catered to elites every bit as much as they've accused Republicans of doing all of these years.
Let me pause it right there, because he's absolutely right. First of all, Jasmine Crockett is bought and paid for under the George Soros dark money, and all of Congress is, Republicans and Democrats. However, what are the principles that the Democrats stand on? What are the principles that the Republicans stand on? We really only have a two-party system. All that independent Green Party, that's all fluff and bullshit, because when it comes to the primaries and when it comes to midterms and when it comes to the presidential election, you either going to choose a Republican or a Democrat. The system is rigged. It is. We've had over 250 years to rig the system, and this has been going on for some centuries now. However, as a responsible citizen, it is your duty, when you are the ones in that district in Texas, you elect the people to go to Congress to represent, one, first, you. They're supposed to be representing their constituents. To the nation. And again, I'm sorry, look at Jasmine Crockett record. Her focus is the illegals. And I am going to bring up, we're going to have a couple of clips on the migrants, on the illegal migrant crises, because this is Migrant Crises Wednesday. But her focus was never Black women. So all you Black women watching in the chat, tell me what public policy Jasmine Crockett brought to the subcommittee. Fuck a committee, congressional committee, subcommittee, because that's to go to the subcommittee first and then be passed to get to the committee, to be voted on, to be passed, to be placed on the floor. What public policy in the state of Texas and in the House did this woman sign on that is going to benefit Black women? And that's just Black women. Then tell me the policy that she brought forward or supported to represent Black Americans. And then I want you to tell me the policies that she brought forward to help all of Americans. Nada. Not a damn one. Because she's busy flying around this country, doing podcasts, talking shit about Trump, cussing and yelling, defending transgenders that should be in sports, defending illegals who cross the border illegally, breaking the law, defending sanctuary cities. Yeah. If you notice, she never said nothing about Israel because they paying her ass. And she never said, peace in the Middle East or peace to Gaza. No. Her focus is transgender and illegals. And I'm not saying that, forget the illegals, but transgender, they're part of the LGBTQ alphabet community. Yes, they have a right to representation. But her constituents are not transgender. I don't even think she has any transgender in her district. So the point I'm trying to make here is she is fighting for a group of people who she does not represent. That is not why you were voted to be sent to Congress.
Over the last 3 elections. Tell me that they said we listening to the people. And we not just doing what we want to do because we're the one that's control the party and we'll manipulate them. Tell me that they haven't gotten folks, not specifically y'all, but folks like y'all, to sit up there and label anybody like me or others who would dare question the establishment and how things go down and say, yo, he a sellout. Yo, he don't care. What's up, Willie D?
Okay.
What's up? We want to talk policy. I didn't call you a name. I didn't disrespect you. I didn't diminish you, your intellect, your soul, your heart, your conscience, and whether or not it was in the right place. I'm just talking facts, bro. You in your 50s too, if not older. You're a grown-ass man. What's up? That's it? That's what you got? He's being disrespectful? How am I disrespectful? If Jasmine Crockett was in my face right now, I would thank her for her service to our country, but I would ask her respectfully, how do you think that's going to work? Is that going to win the midterms? You know how they manipulate stuff. You know how they take sound bites. You know how they can make anybody look if you say the wrong things, particularly when you're an elected official. If you're coming across as belligerent, undisciplined, and a loose cannon, how do you then get to say what Trump is? Or the people under him when they're acting belligerent? Tamika Mallory, respectful woman, Black activist, supporter of Black Lives Matter movement, along with various other things, highly intelligent, incredibly accomplished. I've heard so many wonderful things about this sister. I've read up on her a little bit, nothing but profound admiration. And then I see this.
Yeah, let's talk about Tamika Mallory for just a quick sec. Fuck her too. Because she is under the spell of Al Sharpton. She is an Al Sharpton 2.0. She is not an independent thinker. She went down to Kentucky to ride for Breonna Taylor. It was Breonna Taylor, Breonna Thompson. And here's the thing. The Al Sharptons, the Tamika Mallory, the Mysons, and all those liberal lovers, liberal Negroes, if you notice, they never have any policies. Only thing they do is just march and protest. I don't give a goddamn if the policy get passed or not. If you are fighting for Breonna Taylor, justice for Breonna Taylor, justice for Sandra Bland, where are the fucking public policies? That is how you win. Where is the Congressional Black Caucus, which is a big voting bloc in Congress, especially the House? Where are these policies? And then you can have Black America and all of the liberal lovers back you on these policies. They have not brought one fucking public policy to change the law in the state of Kentucky. Tamika Mallory went down there and just protest. Why didn't you go down there to rally not just Black people, but the people of Kentucky to push for better laws to be changed? Have you talked to any representative, Republican and Democrat in Kentucky to say, hey, we have a public policy, we want it to be pushed for a vote, whatever? She didn't do that. She doesn't do that. Al Sharpton doesn't do that. But when it comes to a Black woman, oh, you can never say nothing bad about Black women. Black women could do and say and behave however they want to behave. And you have no right to critique a Black woman. When did this happen to where Black women who are behaving badly are off limits of being critiqued? I'm not talking about disrespected. I'm talking about being critiqued, especially when you are a politician. You are fair fucking game. F your feelings. F your feelings. You don't have feelings. We don't work for the politician. The politician is supposed to work for us. So we have a right to critique the hell out of them.
Black men, I have a question. I see a lot of great commentary from many of you on Stephen A. Smith's ignorant statements time and time again. This time he disrespected a powerful Black woman who's putting her life in danger, fighting for us. At what point will you all lead the charge to turn him off? Go ahead and turn me off, ma'am. It's no longer a difference of opinion. Stephen A. Smith's actions are intentional, and in this climate especially, it's dangerous. Just wondering if you all plan to do him like you did the NFL about Colin, or are we still watching his commentary on Wake Up? We protect Jasmine for us, period, end quote. So, Tamika, don't recall ever meeting you. Never a conversation.
Go on his show, Tamika Mallory.
You want me canceled because I asked a question. Jasmine Crockett, how is that going to work for you and your constituency? You are a Black woman who is speaking your mind. I spoke my mind about whether or not that strategy is going to work for her and going to work for the Democrats in pursuit of regaining power during the midterm elections and hopefully the presidency in 2028, because I'm not a Republican and I don't have a desire to vote for any of the Republican candidates.
I do. I am a registered Republican.
And because of
I will
that,
be voting for Vivek
in
in Ohio.
You want to rally folks up to go against me? Let's get it on a micro scale. I'm a Black man that's not doing for Black people. How about the Black people I employ?
Right.
How about what I do with HBCUs? How about what I do within the walls of ESPN? How about the brothers and sisters that I've helped in this industry? All of that gets shoved aside and dismissed because I asked Representative Crockett, how's that going to work for you?
Right.
Really? It's highly, highly, highly intelligent and accomplished as you are. That's all that it takes for you to go against everything that has helped make us what we are, that helped get what were we saying? Whether it's civil rights movement, pre-civil rights movement, post-civil rights movement, it's about having a voice and a connection.
So I'm gonna pause that there. I want to switch over to Angela Rye because he's right. And this is why I agree with everything that Stephen A. Smith has said. First of all, he has a right to his own opinion. He has the freedom of press, the freedom of speech. But he also speaks from a place of knowledge and logic. And he does see both sides of the coins. Now, he may pick a side, but he highlights the good and the bad on both. Now, I voted for Trump for number one, to get these illegals up out of here. And I mean the sleeper cells, the criminals, illegals, the cartels, all get them up out of here. Yes, I voted for Trump. I became a Republican when I was living in New Jersey many years ago because the Democrats in New Jersey were the thieves, were corrupt. So I switched to the Republican Party just out of spite. However, when I go in that voting booth, I go with the knowledge of who are these people on the ballot? What have they done? What is their agenda? What can they do to help where I live at in my district, in my city, in my state, in my community, in my neighborhood? Most of you don't do that. I'm in a state now where we have to vote for judges. We never did in New Jersey. So I have to research all of these judges. And I do my research. Are you? No. Because most voters, no matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, it's a likability contest. You vote identity politics, who you identify with as far as skin color, gender, do I like them, blah, 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 blah. And that is bad. You're not supposed to vote because of identity politics. No. But you have the Angela Rye's, you have the Tamika Mallory's, you have the Jasmine Crockett's, you have the Willie D's, the Dia Hoogleys, the Roland Martins, Plies, all these bullshit entertainers who are pushing identity politics, meaning they're lying to you saying, well, Trump is a racist and Trump is this and Trump is that. Who cares who's a racist or not? Because there are a lot of white liberal racists, Democrat racists as well, who are politicians and who are not. It has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with policy. And no one is not talking about policy. No one's talking about policy, public policy. Trump just passed. He signed an executive order eliminating taxes for Social Security. That is a big fucking deal. That is major. So senior citizens don't have to, and which was so stupid because why should you have to pay taxes out of your Social Security? And the Social Security was the taxes that you were paying into to get Social Security. And then the IRS is taxing that. So he eliminates taxes for Social Security. You're going to have seniors saving at least an extra $200 a month in taxes. And that's going to be an extra $200 in a Social Security check. Nobody talks about that amongst a whole bunch of other things. So I'm not saying Biden didn't do anything good, because they did do some good. But when the Democrats, Biden, Kamala Harris, who was supposed to be the border czar, when they decided to open up the borders and let over 20 million illegals in, that's when I was completely done. And to have the Democrats today take no accountability, making excuses as if that never happened. Are you fucking kidding me? Talk about reparations. They gave reparations to illegals. Our tax dollars at that. So no, I have no love for the Democrats because they refuse to take accountability from that open border. And I have no love for the Congressional Black Caucus because they do nothing for Black Americans. Why do we even have it? The Hispanic Caucus, they do a whole lot for Hispanics. Yes, they do. But the Congressional Black Caucus, the CBC, they don't do shit. So let's play Angela Raha yellow ass. And somebody put in the comment section, oh, you just as light, honey. I'm red bone and I'm brown. I'm not this. But either way, she is black, but she is on that Democrat plantation as well. And she talks identity politics. And she's an educated person. She's a lawyer, but she's on that identity politics.
Great.
I'm going to start from the beginning because this is what I don't like. This is how she started off her podcast.
Time. I want to open today's show with a very important historical clip because I think it provides context for where we are. Let's roll it.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman.
Let me pause that right there for a second. Thank you, Chief Crockett, for the lovely super chat. Let me pause that for a second. And let me go to you, Quincy. Quincy says, wow, you having love for a party that won't even allow you in their meeting because you black is just weird. First of all, dumbass, I'm always in a Republican meeting where I live at in my state, you idiot. I can always pick up the phone and speak to my constituents. Now, mind you, I am a registered Republican, but where I live at, it is a Democrat district. But I could pick up the phone and still speak to that Democrat representative. So no, I'm in the fucking meetings. And see, what you don't understand is anybody could go sit. Well, anybody could call up a congressional politician in Congress and set up a meeting and go speak to them. But most importantly, you need to deal with the representatives in your state, dumbass. And what makes you think because I'm black, I won't be allowed into a fucking meeting? When they know if they try to prohibit someone because of their race, that is a major lawsuit. Black people are not Republicans. It's just a small percentage. But because I participate in a political process, I send emails, I call, and I go down to the fucking office to speak to the people who's supposed to be representing me. Do you do the same? I doubt it. With that comment.
The most neglected person in America is the black woman. That if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men.
And that is just it. What is required of men in this hour to stand up for the most disrespected person in America?
And this is where, this is why I don't listen to these liberal lovers. I don't. First of all, Miss Thane, you are playing a clip of Malcolm X from the 60s. The 60s. What was going on in the 60s? Because what was going on in the 60s is not happening today. And I'm sorry, Stephen A. has never disrespected Jasmine Crockett. She nowhere near of the historical reputation of white men disrespecting black women and men. So for your ass, dumbass, to compare Stephen A. to a racist white person, saying that he's disrespecting Jasmine Crockett on the same level as a racist white person from that era of the 60s when you played that fucking clip. Bitch, are you retarded with all your damn degrees? And that's the problem. And that is why black people, we can't get nowhere. And I hate saying this, but that is why. Because even in this hour, you don't know how to project common sense. The Democrats' main goal is to literally, if you do not agree with them, if you are not on their train, then you are the enemy. There is their way or the highway, no matter what. Vote blue, no matter who. And I'm really tired of people, I don't care if you white, black, or whatever, what political party, playing the Martin Luther King clips, the Malcolm X clips, and you have no depth of what these people really, those men really stood for. And you're not understanding during that time, what was going on during that time. And look at where we're at now. The freedoms and opportunities that we have today. And I'm sorry, any Black person saying that they don't have opportunities or that their opportunities is limited because of racism, if you really believe that we are politically in the same position that we were in the 60s, 50s, 40s, and so forth, you are the fucking problem. Because if we are in a disenfranchisement position in 2025, it is because of us. It's our fault. Because I don't understand, we have Black political districts, Black representation on a state, on a county, on a city, local level, and federal level. And if you telling me that you can't get shit done where you live at, then you should not have a voice on that big stage. You should not. And people like this, Angela Rye, is not making it easy for you. She's actually making the process harder. See, they're causing a lot of the friction and the divide because they're playing on your emotions, racism, civil rights, white supremacy, yada, yada, yada. Yes, there are racist people here. Yes, we have a wealth gap. The question that I'm asking, the questions that Stephen A. Smith was asking, what are we going to do about it? No one isn't talking about solutions. Everybody is sitting up here yelling at the top of their lungs, being very aggressive, yelling, complaining, and calling names. That does not get shit done. You don't, and actually, protest does not pass laws. If you study the civil rights movement, when they were doing all that protesting, but what was going on at the same time, the civil rights movement, they had lawyers doing lawsuits. They filed the lawsuits against Wonder Bread. They had the politicians on a local level, federal level, even though it wasn't much in Congress at that time. What we saw on TV was just a protest. We didn't see what was going on behind the scenes. Lawsuits, lawyers, politicians, political activists, getting shit done, the paperwork, the policies. The Civil Rights Act was a policy written by the civil rights activists. It wasn't written by some goddamn white man. A white man signed off on it, Lyndon B. Johnson. White people, the white men in Congress passed it. But that bill was written by the civil rights activists who were highly educated and was about solutions for Black America that benefited all of America and immigrants. We don't have that today. And that is what Stephen A. Smith is talking to. But when you hear a fucking Willie D, when you hear Angela Rye, who is paid very well to talk this bullshit nonsense, when you hear a Tamika Mallory who can't write shit because she never did, but she want to hop out of fucking Cadillacs in a commercial to get a quick check and be on some bullshit podcast with a failed rapper, my son. Jasmine Crockett, she want to put on a mammy display every time the camera is on her. See, these are the people that we have today, which is an embarrassment. So forget about Trump, forget about the Republicans, forget about white people. What are we doing? Shit. No, talking shit. We're talking shit. So when somebody actually hold a politician accountable and start questioning their motives and their behaviors, you want to cancel him? Girl, bye. Y'all crazy. Before I bring up the illegals, let me go through some of y'all little comments. And thank you, Lysander, for your little super chat. Thank you. Princess Miss D never liked Kevin Samuels when he said that. Who said I never liked Kevin Samuels? I never said anything negative or disrespectful about Kevin Samuels. Thank you. Don't give us your excuse why you didn't vote for Harris. Oh, bitch, I could tell you I was never going to vote for no Kamala Harris. I was never going to vote for no goddamn Democrat. Why would I vote for illegals? Are you crazy? You would rather Trump over Kamala. You goddamn right. Oh, my money is going to work. It's working for me. Yes. My number one reason voting for Trump is to get these goddamn illegals up out of here. And I'm about to play a clip. Listen, why are you not applying to work for ICE? Why? Good benefits, starting off with $80K and up, 6 figures and up. All you black men and women, but more so all you black men that's y'all liberal lovers, y'all need to be applying to work for ICE. The fuck? She will not be voted out. Trust. Okay, girl. Okay, Miss Brown girl. Make sure you go down there and you stump for Jasmine Crockett next year, because it's going to be a bloodbath in the midterms. You know the election is next year in November for midterms. Because black people go silent in the midterms. Y'all don't come out and vote in the midterms. Y'all don't. But Angela Rye, Willie D, they ain't talking about midterms. Willie D is not educated enough to talk about no goddamn midterms. He interviews celebrities. He needs to stay in his goddamn lane. Now, speaking of the damn illegals, honey, I have another mammy alert. Child. So we have a mammy. We have a mammy in the New York, outside of the New York City Federal Building, acting a damn fool. A tether immigrant mammy at that.
You can go to jail for that.
For what? What's going on here? I didn't touch you. What's going on? What are you guys doing? Yes, he do. She just told he got to come back to court. What's wrong with you guys?
Let me just read the paperwork. We're just trying to confirm.
So back up at least. Give him space. You could do what you do, but just give him space.
Hold on for a second. She forgot Trump fired thousands of black women on the federal level. Bitch, let me tell you something, Aaron. You are, first of all, you know how many thousands of black women that Joe Biden fired? Joe Biden fired 200,000. Yeah. He fired over 200,000 black women. Oh, I looked those fucking numbers up and I did a show on that. So when Trump eliminated a lot of federal jobs and there's a large population of black people working in the federal government, black women were included along with black men. See, y'all want to tote black women, but y'all never talk about the black men who got laid off. And you never want to talk about the 200,000+ of black women that was laid off under Joe Biden. Let's get to the tether mammy here.
I can't.
No, I don't know what you want to do.
Yeah, don't work.
What are you guys doing? What's wrong with you guys?
Alright, sir, so go get detained by immigration.
Why? Tell him why.
Check if everything comes out good. We'll call you back. Good? Like this, like no
Bitch, you stupid bitch. That's why y'all are a bunch of fucking criminals. I wish you would. I wish the fuck you would. Yes, the fuck we his family. Y'all a bunch of big pussies. Don't tell me to calm down. Who the fuck is you? We don't like none of you.
You okay?
No, how can I be okay? You okay? Are you okay?
Are you okay?
I look like I'm okay? Don't come up in my face here because I hit hard.
Let me pause. And when I first saw this clip here, honey, that guy in that blue hat is fine as hell. I said, who is the Bariqua here? Is he Puerto Rican or Dominican? He's something. But I know he worked for ICE and he looks good.
Fuck wrong with y'all.
Try it.
I wish you would.
Try it.
You try me and see what the fuck happened. Nigga, we angry. All of us angry out here. So don't think it's y'all alone.
Get out of here.
You who you telling get out of here? Why you telling me get out of here? You asked me a question and I'm answering you.
Get out of here. Man.
Fuck wrong with you? Oh, stupid ass bitch. That's why you gotta hide your face.
You wanna go to jail?
You told me my mother can tell you anything.
You wanna go to
Fuck
jail?
wrong with you? You wanna hit me? Hit me, bitch. You ain't got me. Nobody's scared of you. You're a pussy ass. Come. I got rings on, bitch. So me and you gonna fight. You a pussy bitch. You a pussy bitch. That's why your kids them don't like you and your wife is fucking on you. That's why you gotta hide your face. My face ain't hidden, bitch. I'm American, you stupid bitch. Fuck wrong with y'all? You can take me too high. I'm Charlotte the Zodiac Press. You know what to do? Tell them, no. You want me? Fuck wrong with y'all? Fuck all of you. Put that on the news. Let Trump see it.
They closed the door. Quincy, you are such a hater, honey. You big mad right now, Quincy. He don't want you. Honey, I don't know that man. I'm just giving him a compliment. Don't be mad. Look at her. Look at sexy. I'm gonna start back from sexy. Just let's pay attention to sexy right here.
Bitch, you stupid bitch. That's what.
Never mind the gorilla mammy trying to acting like a tether gorilla, cussing everybody out, talking about some she hit hard. Never mind her.
Y'all, you're a bunch of fucking criminals. I wish you would. I wish the fuck you would. Yes, the fuck we his family. Y'all a bunch of big pussies. Don't tell me to calm down.
Look at him. Look at all those muscles, honey. Yes.
Who the fuck is you? We don't like none.
Fine.
None of you.
Look at that. In shape, honey. Got the badge right there. Yeah, he ain't scared of her.
You okay? No, how can I be okay? You okay? Oh,
no, he's fine. He's gonna be all right.
Are you okay? Are you okay? I look like I'm okay? Don't come up in my face here because I hit hard.
Yeah. Build that wall. Build that wall. Gotta get them up out of here. See, listen. Our immigration department was already a hot mess for decades. But I'm sorry, bitch. You must ain't whoever, maybe she had her paperwork together because she was talking mad shit, but somebody didn't have their paperwork. Why are you upset? These people were very nice. And the other guy was like, do you want to be arrested? Like, yeah, you can't really threaten law enforcement, especially if they ain't threatening you. Talking about some you hit hard. Miss Thing, shut up. I'm not even calling her Miss Thing. I'm calling her Mr. Thing. Mr. Thing, tether thing, illegal immigrant. She probably got a green card. I don't think she's a citizen. She probably got a green card. That man ain't paying you no mind talking about something you hit hard. You don't scare him. Girl, he will knock you out. And this is why I'm like, these people are going crazy. I hit hard. And you could tell she probably from Brooklyn because that's their demeanor too. Them Caribbeans out there.
Calm down. Who the fuck is you? We don't like none of you. You okay? No, how can I be okay? You okay? Oh, you
Oh, he's more than okay.
Okay. Are you okay? I look like I'm okay? Don't come up in my face here because I hit hard. Fuck wrong with y'all.
Try.
You ain't gonna hit him hard, honey. No, you not. Anyway, if anybody knows that man name with the blue hat on and the gray shirt, can you email me his info so I can hop in his DM? Okay. What else do we have when it comes to the illegals? Yeah. Okay, what is this? Oh, this is what I want to play. Now we have illegals talking about we're all immigrants. No, the fuck we're not.
We are all immigrants.
We are all immigrants.
Unless we are indigenous.
Unless we are indigenous.
We are all immigrants.
We are all immigrants.
Unless we are indigenous.
Unless we are indigenous.
this campaign, we say prosecute ICE, free Palestine, raise the minimum wage, implement Medicare for all, pass the PRO Act, overturn Citizens United, out with these empty suits, in with these working class Americans.
No, sir. We will not be abolishing ICE. ICE is hiring. We need ICE. We need the wall to be built. We need to make sure people are not coming in on planes and trains and ships and all that. Send them back to China, send them back to the continent of Africa, send them back to the Middle East, send them back down to South America, send them back up to Canada. Just get them up out of here. And let me just say this. Black Americans, we are not immigrants. We're not. We are natives. And we came here as enslaved Africans, and we are no longer African, honey. No, we are not. And I am not an immigrant. And that's the bullshit grift that they want to, tell people. Now, I want to play this because Tariq Nasheed said this alleged Democrat shell Asian woman named Harmony, who has a history of disrespecting FBA lineage, called Black women cowards because sisters don't want to get involved in the immigration protest. And she said our Black American ancestors were cowards. See, again, y'all want to sit up here and tap dance for Jasmine Crockett and Kamala Harris and say abolish ICE. But the illegals, the Democrats allowed the illegals to come here to replace Black Americans and white Americans, to replace Americans, period. But they came here specifically, the Democrats let them come here to replace the Black American vote, to dilute our voting power, to replace us with illegals.
We're watching democracy in real time. Fighting for your freedom is brutal. It's exhausting and it is dangerous. And freedom has never been won from the comfort of a couch. I hope that besides getting on your platform and yelling that we're not coming outside, that you're doing other things to help, like boycotting, mutual aid, grassroots organizing, and you're using your platform to encourage others to do the same thing. But make sure you're doing something and stop acting like your apathy is activism. We are not our ancestors. I used to hate that saying because it's disrespectful, but now I get it, because our ancestors were brave. They were built different. And some of y'all are built like your ancestors because a lot of y'all had cowards for ancestors. And it shows. My ancestors were way too badass. I already know that I do not measure up, even though I practically live outside. But we are living through our government being taken over. Hiding in fear won't save you and has never won a battle. And it will not win you your freedom either. So if you're too scared to come outside, fine. We heard you the first 50 times you said it. Cool, stay inside because the rest of us are working. But I will say that I believe that the people who put us in this mess need to be on the front lines. Latinos for Trump, Black MAGA, farmers for Trump, and of course, privileged white folks always ready to play savior, never ready to save themselves.
Okay, so what did she say? Oh, girl, your people were not badass. Your Chinese people are not badass. Because if they were badass, they wouldn't be trying to come here. Anybody who flees their country to come to America, you are not badass. You don't come from a badass lineage. You know what's badass? The enslaved Africans that were brought here, built up this soil, built this country, fought to be free, fought for rights, civil rights, voting rights, all the rights. And then it benefited you immigrants, and it benefited white women. We are the badass, the foundational Black Americans, not you. Your people are not badass because you came after we paved the way to make it easier for you fleers. And that's all you're going to get is empathy, not just out of Black women, but out of Black people, out of Americans who are pro-ICE, who are anti-illegals. You're going to get empathy to where, yeah, okay, don't separate the families, but all y'all going to get deported up out of here. What do we look like going outside to support illegals?
Using your
We didn't get any benefits. We didn't get credit cards, food stamps, free housing, free health care. We didn't get none of that. You guys, illegals, y'all got that off our tax dollars. Thank you, tourists. They must have been paid a lot to stand out there to look ignorant. Yeah, they are paid protesters. That is a real thing. That is a real thing. So no, you're not the most any American, Black, white, or what have you can do is give you empathy. Hold your own nuts. Should I open up the phone lines? I'm putting a poll in the chat. So I'm going to give you about 2 or 3 minutes, no more than 5 minutes to vote. Should I open up the phone lines and have you guys call in, especially the ones who have a problem with what I had to say? I would love to hear from you.
The conference is in presentation mode.
You guys hear that? Let's see, call-in number. Let me put the call-in number up here. The 848 488 9202. All right. You guys want to call in? Call in. I pinned the call-in number at the chat. I'm gonna copy it and put it in the chat for you guys. And if anybody don't call in within the next 5 minutes, I'm just going to wrap up the show. Make sure that's the right number. 448-920-248 848-488-9202. Yeah. So let's see. William says, look, lady, I got family members that would gladly put one in your dome if they thought they could get it off. I don't mess with them because of it, but they're out there, like it or not. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? I know that's not for me, William. But if it is, let me take a screenshot, honey. Play with me. All right. Oh, we got a call. Let's see. 626. Can you hear me?
Yes, Dana. How are you? I'm calling from the great liberal city of Los Angeles, where we're overridden by illegals. We want them out of California. We want them out of our damn country.
Good for you. And I support you with that.
I'm African American. I've seen too in Los Angeles. They move into the black community. They gentrify it with other illegals. They walk around with pit bulls. So our people are threatened in such a way. And we had a lousy police chief, Robert Luna, who was police chief here in the Long Beach area and made it a sanctuary city. They built it up somewhat, but we're seeing even crime go up. And part of this sanctuary cities accommodate the illegals, and it brings in all, including drugs and other stuff like that. It brings that into our communities. We want them out. I don't care if you're African, Mexican, Tibetan. We want you out of our country. Black people fought for our freedom to become free slaves and to free ourselves. Most of you that are fleeing the country, and I'm going to say this as an African American, most of you are cowards. Because if you have any type of uprising or any type of government in your country that you don't agree with, stay and fight like the Africans did when we were brought over here to America. That's not racist. It's the truth. We have to have them come over here because they're running from drug cartels. Make the drug cartels run. They can't shoot all of you. They need you just as much as a government needs you, the cartel. They can't kill everyone. But you come over here, and we have to send our young men over to foreign countries that die to liberate them. And what do they do at the UN? And what do they do, period? They disrespect us. They vote against us in the UN and so forth. I voted for Trump. Whether people, some say you're not black. No, I'm black. I voted for Trump because I needed the element out of Los Angeles. It's bad here. It's bad. They're selling food on the corner, taco stands. The nerve of them in front of Mexican restaurants with no licenses, anything. Now you let a black man or a Chinese person start selling spare ribs or egg foo young in the street and see what will happen to them. See, but they give them license.
Yeah, they're letting them do whatever they need to do to survive, even sell drugs and guns and all types of illegal things. So, and I hear you. There are a lot of people in the state of California that is really fed up, and I heard that we should not be surprised if California flip back to being red, as particularly when it comes to your governor. So something has to change, and California, I think that's as liberal as it get. I mean, New York is liberal too.
I got thrown out of a coffee house for saying I love Trump, and I said that to a friend of mine in reference to crypto and what he was doing. They threw me out, and they told me you can't mention Trump around here in this neighborhood. So they threw me out. I'm thinking about filing a civil rights claim against him because you and I both know that's against the Constitution. So you cannot do that. So it's like I said, it's gotten really bad here, and you have no rights here almost in California. Now, Governor Newsom has signed a new law where he is stripping citizens in a state from owning a gun.
Yeah, I heard that.
So they're stripping us. You can't in California. You cannot own a tear gas gun. Basically like a mace gun. You cannot own a blow dart gun. I said, what? You cannot own any type of club whatsoever.
Somebody in my chat said he's not black.
Well,
how do black people sound? How do black people sound? So are you black, sir? Are you black?
I'm African American. I grew up in Bedford-Stuyvesant, New York, and I moved to Long Island. My parents did as a kid. And in fact, when I was a young man, first of all, I used to be on radio years ago when I was in college. So the voice is pronounced. Secondly, I grew up in a white community. What is white and how do black people talk? First of all, I use a proper English language. Now, there are certain vernaculars that people will speak as far as dialects and so forth of the American language, but I'm fully 100% black. And I grew up in New York where I had cousins that could not relate to me. They said, "You sound like a white boy." Well, my mother said, "Ignore them, because while they're complaining about you sound like a white boy, you're going to go get white money. And while they complain, they're going to probably end up getting black money, welfare money." So my parents taught me to speak proper English. No, I'm very much black.
Okay.
Very much black.
Well, let me.
I used to be accused of being white because my first name is Bruce and my last name. So I went to job interviews years ago. I'm an executive now of the private equity company. They look all in the room for me for the interview and assumed that I was white because of the name. So no, I am American first of all. First of all, I am Christian, which has no color, no dialect or anything. Secondly, I am American, a proud American.
Right. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you calling in.
I appreciate you so much. I appreciate we need more people like you so much in this country to speak up. God bless America and God bless you, Diane.
The same to you too. God bless
Thank
you
you.
as well. Bye-bye. 918. Hi.
Hello, how you doing?
Good.
That's good. I'm not gonna be on here long. My thing is like this, man. The Democrats, they expect people. What they do is they try to put fear in people and to punk people and have them be scared of them. So they have, these folks in entertainment like Willie D and all them get up on there and talk bad about you if you disagree with them and all that. And the thing is, we as the people, we should have a right to feel however we want to feel. But just because we don't agree with you, that don't mean that we should be called names and all that. And that don't mean that we should be, punked and try to put fear in. I live in California. I'm in Oklahoma now. I live in California. And they basically try to put fear in you, try to have you scared. But I'm one of them people, I ain't scared. I'm not scared. I'm like this here. I'm going to believe who I want to believe. I voted for Trump. I don't care who like it, who don't like it. It is what it is. And my thing is, you're not going to have no entertainers or failed rappers or even old rappers who didn't turn into women trying to, push me into believing who I want to believe and to voting who I want to vote for or who may have you. That's not me. So that's all I'm saying, man. Democrats, they just try to have you scared of them.
Right.
That's it.
I like what you said, Democrats. Yeah. Or the Democrats.
Call them Democrats.
Right, Democrats. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you calling in.
All right.
All right, take care. 504. 504.
Yes. Hey, Dana, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, then. As soon as I called, I picked up. Yes, I'm from New Orleans, and my family is from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and St. Francisville, Florida. So I'm deep Southern. I'm in St. Francisville, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm deep, and I'm in New Orleans. So I'm around a whole lot of Black Africans and old slaves, and a lot of indigenous people who were Black. So we got that whole mixture down here. So we covered on both sides.
Let me ask you this question, because I'm starting to see this float around that you have Haitians and Spanish people claiming New Orleans heritage, like saying that the New Orleans Black heritage came from Spanish people, the Hispanics in Haiti. Like, what is up with that?
That's because they got a mixture of Creole and Cajun, and they got some Spanish in them. But that has nothing to do with immigrants at all. I don't see any really Haitians. I know they had a couple of Haitians in the New Orleans war back in the days, when they had a little uprising. But we don't really have that. We don't see that. We don't see Puerto Ricans. We don't see Dominicans and all of that kind of things. And when I get on some of these YouTube channels with the African diaspora and some of them brothers from up there in New York and things in Brooklyn and stuff like that, and they try to talk to me about that. I said, man, listen, we ain't never recognized that in the South. And I'm talking about from Louisiana, Arizona, all the way to the Carolinas. That's a whole lot of FBA black folks. We none of that. The only thing that they have a little melting pot of is you got some folks, some Cubans in Florida, maybe some Haitians in Florida. You know, I think like Kodak Black now. You know, they have their little group down there, and a few people moved to Atlanta, because you remember old Atlanta days. It was just a predominantly black area, because you had the 4 black HBCU schools.
Okay.
Clark, Morris Brown, Spelman, things like that. And then when it got popular, everybody moved there. Okay. And I'm sure that little Virginia. But I definitely agree with Stephen A. My problem with some of these Democrats is like, what's a low undereducated voter? You have to go to college to make common sense of, you know, what we follow as far as politics are concerned.
Right.
Is that what they're saying? Because that's insulting.
Yes.
You know, to the average working man like myself, I used to work the UPS job. You know, so we you know, so what's that? Why the insults? A lot of, and we could put a host of women like yourself who disagree with Jasmine Crockett up there cussing and stuff. Shit, if I want to hear that, I can go right there to the project for that.
And what is wrong with someone disagreeing? And why does someone has to be canceled because they're critiquing you, especially if you're a politician? We have a right as citizens to critique and call out our politicians, no matter what party line.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
You know, when did it become, oh, you hate black women, protect black women? Like, no, she is in the trenches. She's in Congress. You want to talk about the streets? That's sorry,
right. And that's the thing that I think the Democrats trying to play on with the words with that, as calling they just start calling names out of nowhere, xenophobia, all that kind of stuff. That don't mean nothing. My aunt went to Xavier, top educated black women, right?
Right.
They went to Dillard. They representation. One of them is, you know, one of the head accountants of a Fortune 500 company. She got it on merit. She was the first and second in her class, right? And she's a head accountant, you know, and things like that. And I have another one that has a doctorate in social worker. 2 cousins that are they didn't agree with the DEI stuff too.
Right.
We were already on a movement to get in those positions by working hard for us, because they said that we could not do it. So that was easily done. DEI slowed all that down for black folks.
Right.
In my opinion.
Just like
that slowed that down.
Affirmative action, you know, it benefited us in sprinkles, but it mainly benefited white women. DEI, it mainly benefited white women, and it benefited illegals and immigrants. So that DEI.
Yeah, but we didn't need neither one of those.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
We had the HBCUs was pumping out top quality, educated people. Right. I was a truck driver, so we root for them. The girls went to college. The boys went and got trades and things like that. So we took pride in that.
Right.
You know, even if you didn't go, you know, so that's my thing. So that and personally, this is nothing new for anybody, because it seemed like the Democrats have finally come down to the internet because they lost the election. We've been saying this. And the thing about the internet is that people can communicate and catch up on things and communicate, and we had the same things in common. It's the same thing. The same brothers that we listen to, Tariq and some of them brothers there, it's the same thing. I pulled back from the Democratic Party during the Obama years when he didn't do much, you know, and then we got, you know, and I was like, okay, well, they asked him the similar question of what you were planning to do for black people, and then he said, well, no, that's not how politics work. Okay, well, damn. Well, that's what we've been doing. We've been fighting for this since the 60s and 50s.
Right.
You know, there's only 2 things we wanted: reparations, cash payments, and former cash payments, and payments, and fairness under the law, and hold some of these dirty cops accountable. That's it.
Right. Exactly.
It never got that complicated, right? But the Democrats kind of dance all around those issues, but will not even comment on those things. They don't even say that no more. Now, as far as California and what the governor trying to do, why you want to do that? Why you want to try to pass something now? Newsom. Why you want to try to pass something now? And then who you got in charge of it? Now, I'm not for everybody. My people didn't march for everybody.
Right.
You try to march for us, right? For our strength. No, and to be and I'm gonna get off and land my plane with this. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment was for black slaves and black Native Americans, not anybody else. So I'll be happy when the Supreme Court's come in and make a judgment on that, because they got too many people, firstborn, anchor babies, actually speaking like they black Americans and just using our history. It's like, like the Joy Reid and all those kind of people that I'm a black American, man. You don't have no skin in the game.
Right.
I got people in 3 wars, who bled for this. So that's just how I wanted, good to talk to you. It's a pleasure. I'm a
too. And
big
I really
fan.
appreciate you calling in all the way from New Orleans.
Right. And tell the judge I'm gonna get some of that barbecue sauce too, man.
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
All right, appreciate it.
All right.
You are the last party in the conference. Line muted.
Oh my God.
Line unmuted.
It gotta say everything. I need to take off her talking. You know what, guys? Listen, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Listen, and thank you to everybody that donated. Thank you, Yogi. Charles says, good night from Germany. Hope to be home soon. Good night, Dana. Keep doing you. Respect. Have love for Taco. Yeah. Thank you, Taurus, for the super chat. Says Stephen A. ain't disrespect that woman. I disrespect her on a daily basis. That woman who crashed her event, I wish I was by her side because I want to smoke. Yeah, thank you, Taurus. Thank you, Don. Says, okay, that was the lemon character. Thank you. Charles says, Dana, did you see the leaked Young Republican recruitment publication? No, I seen the headline. I'm gonna look into that and I'm gonna do a video on that. We probably talk about that Friday for the panel, or tomorrow with the judge. Thank you, Taurus. Again, they must have been paid a lot to stand out there and look ignorant. Exactly. Here go a hater. Mark B1 says, so if Trump tells you to go back to Africa, would you still support him? Yes, because he would not be talking about me. He would be talking about the illegal Africans. See, I'm not African, honey. I'm not African. I'm not a Pan-Africanist. No, baby, I'm not African. I'm American. So if he tells any person that looks black to go back to Africa, trust and believe he's talking about the tethers. He's talking about the Africans that are here illegally. It's a difference. We're not all the same. You don't understand that Trump only cares about the rich. They all care about the rich. Tammy, come on. Tammy, Congress, how do you become worth $30 million on $150,000 a year salary? Nancy Pelosi is worth over $100 million. So is Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker. AOC is worth over $30 billion. Jasmine Crockett is making her way up there to AOC. They all are rich and wealthy. So it's not Trump. Trump made his wealth on his own in the public sector. These people are politicians and made their wealth. That tells you they're crooks. But the system has always been like that. You could go back to the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers and the JP Morgans, when those laws were worse because they allowed them to monopolize a lot of these industries. So it's always been like that. Tammy, come on, girl, wake up. Wow, you haven't love for a party that don't even allow. Okay, I read that one. Thank you, Lazander. Thank you. I'm just trying to get to the super chats. I thought I said all the super chats. Thank you, Chief Rocka, for the lovely super chat you gave me. Appreciate that from earlier. And listen, thank you everybody on X for watching. Everybody here on YouTube, guys, I appreciate you. Make sure you like, share this video, and comment in the section below. And did you donate to my fundraiser? Let me share the Go Sing Go. Yes, honey, I have the Real Dana YouTube channel fundraiser. The link is in the description, and I pinned it in the comment section. What does this look like? Yeah. Should I make it bigger? Okay. Go the Real Dana. No, Gifts and Go. It's a fundraiser for the platform, so I could bring you more leveled up projects. So it's a lot of things I have in store for this platform. So again, thank you guys so much for showing your support, from donating, and if you can, take time to donate to the fundraiser, everybody. And everybody, listen, have a wonderful week. I don't want to be too far back. No. Have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you Friday, live again Friday with the Friday night panel. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that bell button to get all notifications. Be safe, be blessed, stay black.